initially by Pete Sohn, but there were a lot of changes and it takes too long. What is why is that? Why is what so difficult? And also, how is for you to make your first movie because you have made a short but not a movie.
Yeah. It started off in 2009 with Bob Peterson. He pitched, like you're saying, he pitched the original story. And then not soon thereafter, he asked me to come develop the film. And so the story went through a lot of evolution, and like a lot of other Pixar movies, the story can get stuck. The issue with this one was that the story was getting really complicated, so they had many storylines. And so when they asked me to take over, it was really about going back to that original heart that Bob first pitched and kind of, you know, we took that heart of it, but then kind of redid the rest of the film because Arlo was a much older character. Then we made him feel younger so that we could really focus on the maturity storyline. And so those were some of the big changes that we had done. But at the same time, yeah, it is my first time, and I was, it was scary. But at the same time, there wasn't a lot of time. We had to keep going really fast, and so the places that I felt scared or incapable, Denise Ream, our producer, kind of surrounded me with a lot of experienced supervisors, and so we would focus on the story, and then the technical aspects would follow suit very quickly.
Yeah, the technical side of it is, interestingly, the easier side of it. Like executing the movie is the easier part. Getting the story right is the really hard thing, and I knew that was what Pete should spend his time focusing on, and not to worry about the actual production side of it. But
not that it was easy, the technical
no,
side.
No, I don't mean, but it is a lot easier when you know what you're doing.
Exactly.
And he, right off the bat was a natural. Felt he gave really clear direction, and look, it seemed like he'd been a director for a long time. So.
And also it's very close when we see in the theaters with Inside Out, but I don't know if it was difficult to work in the two projects at the same time.
Yeah, that's a good question. There's always a challenge for resources at Pixar in general, but it's interestingly easier when your movies are side by side versus if you're two movies before or afterwards. Because you sort of get your crew and you get to keep your crew. So not as much of a challenge with Inside Out, but we've been working really hard to get to a point where we do two movies in 1 year. So it's exciting to finally be here and to have both of our films come out this year.
Yeah.
Why did you decide the idea of the meteor that doesn't kill the dinosaurs? Because it seems that it's not totally essential to the story.
Yeah.
Like we have a dinosaur that talks and a boy that behaves like an animal.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I don't know if it was essential to tell the story.
No, it was really like a fun concept to just say, like, give us license to explore those ideas without making a big, like, this is a serious movie about certain. It was a really lighthearted way to kind of tell the audience that we're playing with an idea, and so it wasn't like it was the whole, DNA of the film, but it was just giving us a little license for that freedom.
Even though it's computer animated and it has very realistic backgrounds, it has a sense of a very cartoony, classic cartoon. Like I think the influence is Bambi, and I don't know if there is something of Gertie the dinosaur.
Oh yeah, Gertie. Yeah, absolutely.
Books.
Yeah, no, we, working in animation and being a lover of animation, of course, Winsor McCay is a huge influence to what we're talking about. But we didn't, it was funny about what Winsor McCay did with Gertie was that they treated like dinosaurs like a cow or some sort of animal. They're like, here, eat some food. Here we wanted to keep moving it forward to see how they could evolve into something. And Bambi's a huge influence just because nature and Tyre Swan, one of those early artists on that film, really found a way to treat nature in a really beautiful way. And we would talk about that movie, but also try to find the threatening side of it as well. We did a lot of research in the American Northwest, and everywhere we would go, it would be beautiful landscapes with this life-threatening kind of underbelly to it, and so we really wanted to capture that.
Well, it is easier to feel identified with Arlo than with the spot. Arlo behaves like a child, like a human being. I think the story is mostly about bravery. I think even if it is a dinosaur and it is this landscape, perhaps you were trying to talk about how we deal with things in life, that what happens in life to people, that I don't know, this is the message that you have to grow, you have to see how people die and things like that.
Yeah, no, those themes are absolutely in the film, and we've been trying to find ways to find each step for Arlo to mature. What are those life lessons that can propel you into the person that you're going to become? And for Arlo, fear is a huge obstacle, but at every turn, love continues to be an answer for him that helps him to get through things until finally Spot kind of teaches Arlo that final lesson of love, and so that he can learn to, survive fear and grow up and be the man that he's supposed to be.
One quick question.
No,